शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये प्रज्ञानां ब्रह्मैमात्मा ब्रह्मतत्त्वमस्यहं ब्रह्मास्मि हंसशिवस्सोऽहं हंसः सकप्रेम तत्क्षमलवरयूमसौं साक्षमलवरीं सह स्वरूपनिरूपणहेतवे स्वगुरवे श्रीमज्ञानां विकासमेध श्रीचैतन्यानन्दनाथ श्रीगुरुश्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः। महादेव्यै विद्महे ऐं क ईलहरीं आत्मतत्त्वाय स्वाहा क्लीं सकलहरीं विद्यातत्त्वाय स्वाहा सौः सकलहरीं शिवतत्त्वाय स्वाहा ऐं क ईलहरीं क्लीं सकलहरीं सौः सकलहरीं सर्वतत्त्वेभ्यो स्वाहा। Namaskaram everybody. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So welcome to the second session on Bhavanopanishad. Actually, we all got pulled into this second session mainly because during the first session or the beginning of the first session, I realized that Bhavanopanishad is a way to explain and practice and annotate the human body mapped to Sri Chakra. Okay? And the entire Sri Yantram is mapped to various, not just the Sri Yantram, the universe out and the universe in, so to say. They are all components are mapped to various parts of the body. It's Mahayaga Kramaradhya Mahabhairava Pujita. In Lalita Sahasranama we say that. So that Mahayaga Kram is nothing but mapping whatever we visualize as Bhavanopanishad. Bhavanopanishad, once again, actually it is Upanishad of Bhavana. What you think, okay? That thought is mapped to certain parts of the body and the Sri Yantra. This annotation or this correlation is Bhavanopanishad. Then Bhavanopanishad, when you take it in further deeper, every component in the human body, be it the limbs, be it the toes, be it the flesh and blood, everything in the body and everything that is surrounding the body is once again mapped to individual components in Bhavanopanishad. And mapping that way and practicing that as a nyasam and as a mindset is Mahayagakram. Okay? And non-initiates, we encourage you to be aware of it, but for you to practice it, you have to get initiated into the Sri Vidya, the Sri Vidya. Okay? With that said, we will start off today. Probably you will see my head bowed down much more than head straight up, because this part, this second session is predominantly about reading out individual components of the body mapped to various components of the Bhavanopanishad. Last time, okay, yeah, so last time we just skimmed through it saying that we'll have it in the next session. We just wanted to understand the essence of Bhavanopanishad. But today we are phasing from Bhavanopanishad into Mahayaga Krama. So as a prelude, we'll just chant the Bhavanopanishad straight away. Then after that, what I'm going to do, I have the text of Bhavanopanishad in the book form, and I have the soft copy of Mahayaga Krama. And I'll have, by the way, going one step back, I'll have to offer my sincere apologies for my laziness and inelastic comprehension of the entire process. Just a few days back Kavita Amma volunteered to just prepare some class material where we can, page to page, we can quote Bhavanopanishad and the Mahayaga Kramam, and she said she can prepare the text. For that she wanted some input from me, but when I went through the entire material myself, I could not comfortably relate page 1 to page A, page 2 to page B, and so on. So I was not sure, so I could not give her any material, so you don't have any in that direction. However, Bhavanopanishad, you already have the text. Mahayagakram also, you have the text. What I will do, Bhavanopanishad, I will use the hard copy part of it, and as far as the Mahayagakram, I have the soft copy. So what I suggest you should do is, you keep the the Mahayagakramam with you, as you can refer to Mahayagakramam as I just go through that material. As far as the Bhavanopanishad is concerned, when I am chanting the first part, you can go through it. Otherwise, even if you don't, it is still fine. Okay? So let us start off with Bhavanopanishad chanting. And please feel free to stop me wherever you want to. And one more thing before even proceeding further, I'll have to admit that there are some conflicts. I think probably it is the Upasaka's experience can be different from Upasaka to Upasaka, or the very text itself. I mean, you know what happens when region to region, there could be some variations. And one more, an additional point to this is not the next class, the class I might be taking in January, February, which is my very favorite topic, that is Sri Chakra Upasana using Aksharamala, or the significance of Aksharamala in Sri Yantram. Okay, but this Mahayagakram, the way it is described here in Bhaskar Raya's call it commentary or narration, the Aksharamala usage in Sri Yantram is already significantly explicit. And the same thing can be found in Ayya Sri Chakra Puja Vidhi, and that's where I see a conflict. For one of the avaranams, for two of the avaranams, the Aksharamala usage has been flipped. Why? I wouldn't know, but that's the way it is. So what I would do when we go through that Mahayagakramam now, I'll just follow what is there in this in the text I have, but I'm going to point to you where exactly the conflict or the variation comes, and that particular variation you can refer to Ayya's Sri Chakra Puja Vidhi text. Okay. With that said, let us now start off with Bhavanopanishad chanting. Om Bhadram Kadnebhi Shruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhirjayatraha Sthirairangai Tuštuvagam Sastanubhi Yashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starchyo Arishtanemihi Swastino Bruhaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti 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 Shri Guru Sarvakarana Bhuta Shakti Tena Varndharupo Deha Navachakra Rupam Shri Chakram Varahi Pitrurupa Kurukulla Balidevata Mata Purushartha Sagaraha Devo Deho Navaratna Dvipaha Tvagadi Saptadhatu Roma Samyuktaha Sankalpaha Kalpataravaha Tejah Kalpako Dhyanam Rasanaya Bhavyamanaha Madhuram Lachikta Katukashaya Lavana Rasa Shadrutavaha Jnanamargyam Jneyam Havihi Jnata Hota Jnatrujnana Jneyanam Abheda Bhavanam Sri Chakra Pujanam. See, all these points we discussed in the last class, so I do not want to dwell too long on this. If you would want to know the details of whatever I am chanting, at least to the extent of Bhavanopanishad comprehension, I encourage you to go through the last class, recording of the last class. Niyatihi Shrungaradayoho Rasaha Animadi Siddhayaha Kama Krodha Lobha Moha Madamatsarya Punya Pavamayaha Brahmaya Yastashaktaya Adharanavakam Mudra Shaktaya Prithivyapastejo Vayurakasha Shrotvakta Tvak Shatruhu Jihva Grana Vakpani Pada Payupasthani Manovikaraha Kama Karshinyadi Shodasha Shaktaya Vachanadana Gamana Visargananda Hanopadanopekshakhya Buddhaya Ananga Kusuma Dhyasthau Alambusa Kuhuhu Vishwodara Varuni Hastijikva Yashovati Payaswani Gandhari Pusha Shankhini Saraswati Ida Pingala Surumna Cheti Shaturdashanadhyaha Sarvasancho Bhinyadi Shaturdaya Shaktayaha Pranapana Vyano Dana Samana Naga Kurma Krakara Devadatta Sanjaya Dashavayavaha Sarvasiddhi Pradadi Bahirdashara Devataha Etudvayu Samsarga कोपादिभेदेन रेचकः पाचकः शोषकः दाहकः प्लावक इति प्राणमुख्यत्वेन पंचधा जठराग्निर्भवति क्षारक उद्गारकः क्षोभको चुम्बको मोहक इति नागप्राधान्येन पंचविधाः ते मनुष्याणां देहगाः भक्ष्य भोज्य चोह्य लेह्य पेयात्मक पंचविधमन्नं पाचयन्ति एता दशवह्निकला सर्वज्ञाद्य अंतर्दशारगा देवताः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेच्छाः सत्वं रजस्तमो गुणाः वशिन्यादि शक्तयोष्टौ शब्दादितन्मात्राः पंचपुष्पबाणाः मन इक्षुधनुः रागः पाशः द्वेषो अंकुशः अव्यक्तमहदङ्काराः कामेश्वरी वज्रेश्वरी भगमालिन्यो अनन्तः अन्तः त्रिकोणगा देवताः निरुपाधिक संविद्देव कामेश्वरः सदानन्दपूर्णस्वात्मैव परदेवता ललिता लौहित्यमेतस्य सर्वस्य विमर्शः अनन्यचित्तत्वेन च सिद्धिः भावनायाः क्रिया उपचाराः अहं त्वं अस्ति नास्ति कर्तव्यमकर्तव्यम् उपासितव्यम् इत्यादि विकल्पानामात्मानि विलापनं होमः भावना विषयाणाम् अभेदभावनं तर्पणं पंचदश तिथिरूपेण कालस्य परिणामावलोकनम् एवं मुहूर्तत्रयं मुहूर्तद्वितीयं मुहूर्तमात्रं वा भावनापरो जीवन्मुक्तो भवति स एव शिवयोगीति गद्यते कादिमतेनान्तश्च कादिमतेनान्तश्चक्रभावनाः प्रतिपादिताः एवं वेदसो अथर्वशीर्षोधीते इति भावनोपनिषद ओं भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यजेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति शांति शांति. Okay, here I want to make one statement from my own earlier experience where I had met this person, a rishi, hence by his capacity. His name is Jitabindu, okay, Bangalore, Jayanagar 4th block, if you are familiar with that area, okay. He has in fact so-called Jitabindu Vedic products. So he had performed penance in Himalayas, he had his own realizations and experiences, and he used to say, for every padam there is artham, for every artham there is padam. When this padam and artham get together, okay, what forms is called padartham. Okay, so padam, if we look at it in a scientific technical perspective, padam is basically a congregation of vibrations, that is time and space, a rhythm, okay, a sequence. Padam. Artham, Artham is an essence which does not occupy any space, it does not occupy any time. Okay? So one is the Shiva Tattvam, that is the essence, the pith. The other is the Shakti Tattvam, that is the Hrinkaram, that is the one that causes this whole world. Okay? So, and the vibration and the time, that is when the time and space merge with this essence, what forms is a physical manifestation. That is the Padartham. The reason I am making this statement is until you really become familiar with Mahayaga Kramam, or putting it the other way, while you are practicing Mahayaga Kramam, I sincerely encourage you to chant Bhavanopanishad. Just chant, because that vibration, that padam and the artham behind it together will manifest the padartham that makes sense to your consciousness. Do that, and then as you, if you want to practice Mahayagakram as a upasana in itself, which is very fair, while you are attempting to do that, I encourage you to go through this Bhavanopanishad. Okay? In Bhavanopanishad, if you can really sing, sing. If you want to chant, you chant. If you just want to read it as a text, read it. But pay attention to it while you are doing it. Okay? With that said, now we will just delve into Mahayaga Kram, Bhavanopanishad Prayoga Vidhi. And Mahayaga Kram, it is not like you have some Havan Kundam or something, you pour some, nothing of that kind. It's everything. In fact, it is internalization of the external. That is Mahayaga Kram. So, the prerequisites for this is your academic awareness of Sri Chakra and general awareness of all the components inside you and outside you. So, these are the prerequisites. That's why it makes more sense if you want to practice Mahayakram, one of the important prerequisites or one of the sensible requirements would be for you to get initiated into Sri Vidya first. Okay? I am making this statement because not only here, there are some audience online that are not actually initiated, but they are curious to know what this is. Okay? So, get initiated into Sri Vidya, practice it. And then while you are doing it, get the academic understanding of what the Sri Chakram is. Then after that, it will become easy for you to annotate, to refer, to call in a relation, may establish a connection. Okay, that's the idea. Om Ata Bhavanopanishad Mukyai Ya Bhavana Kachitha Bhaskara Rayo Rachayiti Tasamevam Prayoga Vidhim Mulena Prananayamya. This whole thing, you have the pranayamam and then Anganyasa, Karanyasa, and things like that will be there. Okay, I won't delve too deep. I don't have to go too deep. Then Dachashrotra Rupayasvin Atmane Prakashandanadhaya Namaha. This one place I want to get some clarification from Ayya. The reason being, here he is listing out the Guru Mandalam, but then probably this Guru Mandalam may be relevant to Bhaskara Raya. Should we use the same Guru Mandalam, or are we going to use our own Guru Mandalam? You can probably even make it larger, Amma, probably 125%. Okay, that helps. Okay. Dakshashrotra Rupaisvanyatmane. There you go. Say, Prakashandanadhaya Namaha, Vimarshandanadhaya Namaha, Anandandanadhaya Namaha. So all these, they are not exactly quoted in our Ogatrayam anywhere. One or two names, maybe, probably they are the same names of different gurus, we do not know. But the Guru Mandalam here seems to be relevant to Bhaskar Raya. But I want to get a confirmation whether we can use the same Guru Mandalam or different Guru Mandalam. That is our Guru Mandalam as described in Sri Chakra Puja Vidhi. But otherwise, on the left hand side, you are speaking about all the that is Daksha Shrotra Rupa, Vama Shrotra Rupa, Jihva Rupa, Daksha Netra Rupa, Vama Netra Rupa, Dhvaja Rupa, Kuhvatmane, Daksha Nasa Rupa, Vama Nasa Rupa, Payu Rupa, iti tat sthanani samsprushya. So these various parts of the body, the left hand, left eye, left nostril, right nostril, left ear, right ear, and so on. There are so many parts are there. So those parts, samsprushya, you touch those parts when you are chanting the particular guru's name and the Aksharamala, the vowel that is associated with not just vowel, even consonants too. Lim, kam, cham, tam, pam, yam, sham. So all these they are going to touch. So while chanting that, you are going to touch the respective part of your body. That is a Rushyadinyasam. Okay? After the Rushyadinyasam, now Dhyanavrandha Rupo Deha Navachakra Rupam Sri Chakram, right? He says, Navachakra Rupa Sri Chakratmane Deha Yanamaha Pitru Rupa Asthyadavya Yavatmane Varahyai Namaha. So, Varahi Pitru Rupa, we said that in Bhavanopanishad. Same thing here. Pitru Rupa Asthyadavya Yavatmane Varahyai Namaha Matrurupa Mamsadavyayavatmane Balidevatayi Kurukullayai Namaha. So we will here we cannot touch our bones and flesh, but he will say do it 3 times. So you can chant it 3 times. Navachakra Rupa Sri Chakratmane Deha Yadamaha Pitrurupa Asthyadavyayavatmane Varakyai Namaha Matrupa Mamsadavyayavatmane Balidevatayi Kurukullayai Namaha. Then after that, it is here is one more concept that you Sri Chakra upasakas are generally encouraged to practice. Okay, if you are seriously delving into Sri Chakra upasana, the direction you see is east. Whichever direction you see is east. For you, you don't have to necessarily turn to east and sit and do it. It's my personal experience, let me tell you, when people, all of us are half-baked or probably far, far less than half-baked. So what happens is, I was doing the same thing. It's not exactly Bhavanopanishad, but a different way of doing this Sri Chakra Puja. When I sit in I just get up in my bed and start meditating upon it. Okay, we imagining the Sri Yantram inside. Invariably, the Sri Yantram, the feeling I get it, the entire, the template, as if it just turns in a different direction while I'm saying it turns in a different direction. It just goes, I'm not able to focus, it just goes somewhere. Then I came and asked Ayya, why is it happening? What do I have to do? And he said, face east and do it. Okay? So I faced east and started doing it. Now I want to come a little, if you don't mind. Otherwise, they will be, that really helps. Sorry, probably you may not be able to see that in entirety, but it really helps. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So when I turned east and started doing it, immediately it aligns. So basically what happens is, as you keep doing it, the upasana, without your awareness, your body gets slowly sensitized to the energy fields around you. East means it's north and south, and east and west. It will start aligning. You will not even be aware. It just aligns. Okay, so whichever direction, when an upasaka delves deeper and deeper and deeper into it, for him, whichever direction he faces is east for him. He doesn't have to necessarily face east. In fact, so much so, this one, the Sri Yantram, which is that. And the way they describe, when you have Sri Yantram in front of you, The Sri Yantram, it is supposed to face east. The triangle should face east, so you will keep that way. Then the Upasaka will face the Sri Yantram, so he is facing west, and he will be doing that. That's the very initial stage they do it. If you go to which part of India are you from? Pardon? Maharashtra. Okay, in Andhra there is this place called Kurnool. Okay, in Kurnool, very close to Kurnool, there is a temple for Jogalamba. Jogalamba, there's one of the Shakti Peethams there. So if you go there, they perform this Khadgamala based Sri Chakra puja for each and everyone that goes there. You can sponsor the puja, they'll give you a Sri Yantram, and then you will sit and they'll say, okay, you turn the Sri Yantram so that that thing faces east. So you will be facing any direction, they orient the Sri Yantram to face east and they'll do the puja. In fact, I just turned it towards me. I said, no, turn it the other way. So basically, the idea there is the Sri Yantram is supposed to face east. But then for a Sri Vidya Upasaka or Sri Chakra Upasaka, as he delves deeper and deeper, the direction he faces is east for him. The reason I am making that statement is here comes the Mahayagakramam. Deha paschad bhagarupa dharmatmane itchusagara yanamah. Purushartha sagaraha. Okay, those sagaras, here it says Deha paschat bhagarupa. Paschat means east. Deha paschat bhagarupa dharmatmane ikshusagara yadamaha. Deha dakshina means south is one meaning, right is the other meaning. Deha dakshina bhaga rupa arthatmane surasagara yadamaha. Deha bhaga rupa, deha prag bhaga rupa, prag. So wait a second. Paschat, oh sorry, my mistake. Paschat is west. Okay, dakshina is, so he will come this way. Deha paschat bhaga rupa dharmatmane ikshusagara yadamaha. Deha dakshina bhaga rupa ardhatmane surasagara. Surasagara is different from Surasagara. Okay? Surasagara means the divine ocean. Sagara is ocean. Sura means divine beings. Surasagara means, Sura means, okay? Sura means alcohol, liquor. Okay? Surasagara. Okay, so Deha Dakshina Bhaga Rupa Arthatmane Surasagara Yanamaha. Deha Prag Bhaga Rupa. Prag means east. Prag Bhaga Rupa KamatmaneGhritasagara Yanamaha. Deha Udak Bhaga Rupa Mokshatmane. Udak Bhaga means left side or north. Okay, Udi Ichedishe, they will say for Uttaram, that is north. Dega Udagbaga Rupa Mokshatmane Kshirasagara Yadamaha. Dehatmane Navaratna Dvipa Yadamaha. Navaratna Rupam Navaratna, what is that? Purushartha Sagara. Then after that we will say Deho Navaratna Dvipam Tvagadi Saptadhaturoma Samyuktaha. Deho Navaratna Dvipam. Okay, Navaratna Dvipam basically, it is also called Mani Dvipam. Sri Yantram is supposed to be is an island of jewels. And what kind of jewels? Each jewel is a Chintamani. The Chintamani, you think of it, there you get it. So it is all strewn with all these kind of jewels. So much so, even gods, they fall for it. And they'll stop there. They'll not go further. So all these things, our awareness should transcend. Then that self will realize the so-called the universal singularity. That's where you get the Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Nehana Nasti Kinchana Soham Tvamevaham. That's where you'll get. For you to get there, all these temptations within and without, you will have to just transcend, overcome and go further. And that's the challenge that is Sri Chakra puja. Okay? So, Dehatmane Navaratna Dvipaya Namaha iti Trirvyapakam Krutva. That thing you will have to chant it 3 times. Okay. Then after that, you have Tvagadi Saptadatuhu Roma Samyuktaha. For that, Mamsatmane Pushparagaratnadvipaయ Namaha Romatmane Niratnadvipaya Namaha Tvagatmane Vaidhuryaratnadvipaya Namaha Rudratmane Vidrumaratnadvipaya Namaha Shukratmane Mauptikaratnadvipaya Namaha Majjatmane Marakadaratnadvipaya Namaha Astyatmane Vajratnadvipaya Namaha Medhatmane Gometakaratnadvipaya Namaha Ojatmane Padmaragaratna Dvipaya Namaha. So this one, Atma and then Adhidevata. 2 components there. One is the essence and the divine energy holding on to that. So till now, Ojatmane, Majjatmane, the Atma, the essence we said. Then after that, Mamsadhidevataye Namaha, Kalachakreshwarye Namaha, Romadhidevataye Namaha, Mudrachakreshwarye Namaha, Tvagajidevataye Namaha, Matrachakreshwarye Namaha, Rudhiradhidevataye Namaha, Ratnachakreshwarye Namaha, Shukrajidevataye Namaha, Deshachakreshwarye Namaha, Majjadhidevataye Namaha, Guruchakreshwarye Namaha, Astyadhidevataye Namaha, Tattvachakreshwarye Namaha, Medhodevataye Namaha, Guru Grahachakreshwarye Namaha, Ojodevataye Murtichakreshwarye Namaha, Sankalpatmibhya Kalpatarubhyo Namaha, Tejatmane Kalpakodhyanaye Namaha. What are these things? We use this in Sri Chakram. What do we use that for? Srinagarachana. This Srinagarachana is doing it. That's why Srinagarachana will do it this way. There's 44, right? Srinagarachana, if you are into Mahashodashi can be described as a 28-syllable mantra as well as a 16-syllable mantra. You sum up the 16 and 28, it becomes 44. So you chant Mahashodashi twice, you have done the Srinagarachana. 44. Okay? So the whole thing compressed into 2 iterations of Mahashodashi. That's why that mantra is considered to be so very powerful. Okay? So, Amnarasatmane Grishmarutave Namaha. See, Shadrutavaha, you get this, Rasanaya Bhavyamana Madhurakti Madhuramratikta Katu Kashaya Lavana Rasa Shadrutavaha. So, Shadrutus. So, the Rutus we have Tejatmane, what is that? Madhuratmane, Madhurasatmane, Vasantarutave Namaha, Amnarasatmane, Grishmarutave Namaha. Like that, all the 6 Rutus are described in all the 9 rasas. Okay? What is mean by rasa? Rasa means not the juice or something. Rasa is the emotions. Navarasas. Okay? These Navarasas are mapped to those actually Navarasa plus 1. Niti Shrungaradayoho. That Niyati put together, it is mapped to Niti Shrungaradayoho. Animadayaha. Animadi Dasha. Now we say Ashta Siddhis. Actually, there are 10 Siddhis. Siddhi Dashakam. The 10 Siddhis are mapped to these 9 plus 1 emotions, rasas. Okay? Okay, this is a Rutu. Rutu, you know the 6 Rutus. The 6 Rutus are mapped here. Okay? And as I said, the same rasas, okay, with shades, Atmane, Adhidevataye, and so on, is mapped to different components. So that's why you will see the utterance of this particular rasas multiple times. Same as the case, it happens with several other components too. So, Indriyatma bho ashvebhyo namaha, Indriyarthatmabhyo gayebhyo namaha, Karunatmikaye, Toya parighaye namaha. This once again, they are all parts of your Srinagarachana. It just goes out. Okay? Gneyatmane vishe namaha. A couple of them I may skip and go further because of 2 reasons. One is, it is extremely obvious there. Okay? Two, I want to save a little on time so that I'll have a little more time available for go back and forth discussions, questions and answers. Okay. Chidatmane Mahatripura Sundarye Namah iti taddat anusandhana purvakam manasanatva. Earlier we said Trivarakam Nyasyat. Okay. Here Natva. So the Nyasam happens in sight. There's nothing there to touch. Okay. Jnana Jnatrujnana Gneyanam Namarupa Vilapana Anusandhanena Chinmatra Rupada Vibhavanena Kshanam Vishramya. For that one moment, the Upasaka pauses. Vishramya. So he'll take rest. In the sense, he'll just, whatever he went through, he'll ruminate for that one moment. In fact, he tends to live in that bliss for a moment. Okay? That's why you see when you place your palms facing the sky for a moment, I don't know how many of you practiced this. If you bring your palms towards each other for a moment and pull them apart, you will feel a band of energy. Okay? You'll feel the palms should not touch each other. Very slowly you'll feel a band of energy as if you are holding on to a ball of sponge. You press the ball, it pushes the hands away. You pull the palms apart, the ball will just draw the palms towards each other. Okay? That is the cosmic energy, but it is manifested in the grassroots level in the physical plane. So when you do this nyasama, when you do all these things, you will place the palms facing the sky for a moment, so the energy accumulates, and then you will touch various parts of your body. So when you do that, all that you in fact, as you go deeper and deeper, when you touch that, and you just as a kshanam vishramya, when you take rest for that moment, you will feel that tingling sensation across all parts of the body where you are touched. Okay, experience is described as a butterfly landing on your body and just gently walking. Butterfly doesn't crawl, it walks. Okay, a worm crawls, but the butterfly is a discrete steps. You will feel that walking feeling, very gentle and very, very serene feeling you will get. So you will wait for a moment, and then you will go Hridi Hastam Nidhaya. Now, Sauh Tripura Chakreshwari Namaha. Aim Klim Sauh Tripureshri Chakreshwari Namaha. Hrim Klim Sauh Tripurasundari Chakreshwari Namaha. Haim Haklim Sauh Tripuravasini Chakreshwari Namaha. Hasaim Hasklim Sauh Tripurashri Chakreshwari Namaha. Hrim Klim Blem Tripuramalini Chakreshwari Namaha. Hrim Shrim Sauh Tripura Siddha Chakreshwari Namaha. Hasraim Haskalarim Hasrasuh Tripuramba Chakreshwari Namaha. Ka Ilaharim Zakahalaharim Takalaharim Shri Mahatripura Sundari Chakreshwari Namaha. These three letters, they are called Triputi. Sri Yantram technology, for the lack of better word. That is a Tantra. Tantra is technology. The Sri Vidya Tantram is essentially based on the concept of three. Everywhere it is three. That's why you have triangles. You don't have quadrangle. Or you don't have just point. When one splits, it doesn't split into two, it splits into three. And when three collapse, it doesn't collapse into two, it collapses into one. That is the idea, there's one of the fundamental axioms that forms the basis for Sri Vidya Upasana, as well as the entire Sri Vidya postulation is based on that. So the Sauh, Aim Klim Sauh, Hrim Klim Sauh, Haim Haklim Sauh, all these, they are all three letters, three. Okay? Now, Sauh Trailokya Mohana, once again, Sauh Trailokya Mohana Chakraya Chaturasraya Chakraya Namaha. Chaturasraya Chakraya Namaha. This is, you should be familiar with the Sri Yantram to to understand this particular. Basically, it is a square at the base. That is the so Trailokya Mohana Chakraya Chaturastra Chakra Chaturastraya Chakraya Namaha Chaturastra Adyarekhayi Namaha. Okay? Iti Vakshyamana Sthaneshu Vyapakam Nyasya. Okay. Now, here onwards, what happens is, now we are entering the Trailokya Mohana Chakram. Trailokya Mohana Chakram is the base set of 3 concentric squares at the base of the Sri Yantra. Okay? And for that, the Triputi that is associated with that is Sauh. Sauh Trailokya Mohana Chakraya Chaturastra Traya Chakraya Namaha Chaturastra Adyarekhayi Namaha. That is the first square, the outermost square. Okay, that Shamsa Pushtarupa Shanta Rasatmane Namaha. That Shamsa Pushtarupa, that is os innominatum. If I am right, that is what they are referring to. But somebody said it is Amsa, means this what do you call, scapula. You know, in biological terms, this bone is called scapula. Okay. This is called clavicle. Okay. In the same way, the hip bone is called os innominatum. Okay. And then this one is called the femur. Okay. Os innominatum, femur. This is scapula, clavicle. Okay. Now here, that Sham Saprushtarupa Shantatmane, so the os innominatum. So, okay. That one, that Sham Saprushtarupa Shantarasatmane Namaha Animasiddhye Namaha Dakshapani Angulya Rupa. Okay. So probably in that case, yeah. Dakshapani, right hand, Angulya Rupa. Okay. Adbhudarasat Melam Laghima Siddhi Namaha Dakshas Rupa Karunatmane Karunarasatmane Mam Mahima Siddhi Namaha Dakshapangangulya Agrarupa Virasatmane Im Vashitva Siddhi Namaha Vama Padangulya Agrarupa. So here they are just pointing to various toes and various bone parts, or various fingers, or various digits in the toe, digits in the hand, they are pointing to, and each of them is being mapped to one particular siddhi in the outer square of the Sri Chakra. So, in essence, your own body is the Sri Chakra. In that body, these parts correspond to first avaranam, these parts correspond to second avaranam, and so on. So, if you challenge here is, number one, you have to memorize this, commit it to memory. Number two, you will have to know at least make an effort to approximately know the physical meaning of these phrases. Once you do that, you will start mapping those particular siddhi, those devatas, to that particular physical parts of your body. And you have to do all that sitting quietly. That's the challenge. And that is sadhana. That's why it is called Mahayagam. So when you keep doing it, it takes several years. Probably it may take several births. When you keep doing it, you will, at one point, you become the Sri Yantra in its entirety yourself. If you go into the temple, in the temple, on the right side, you have got Guru Garu's picture. In the sanctum, okay, the left side is Guruji, right side Guru Garu. Okay. By the way, for you guys, Guru Garu is my guru's guru. We call him Guru Garu. And my guru's guru is called Guruji. So our guru, we call him Ayya. Ayya, Guruji, Guru Garu, in that order. Okay. If you look at the picture of Guru Garu, you will see the Sri Yantram with the Bindusthanam here, and all the rekhas formed. The Sri Yantram is formed right within himself. Okay. Anyway, so coming back here, Vamaspigrupa Bibhatsarasatmane Pram Prakam Siddhye Namaha Vamapanyangulya Agrarupa Raudrasatmane Bhumbukti Siddhye Namaha Vamam Saprushtarupa Bhayanaka Rasatmane. Bhayam is also another rasam. So then, as I said, 9 rasams, all the 9 rasams are being described here. Okay. Now, Chuli Prushtarupanetatma Niyatyatmane Samsarvakam Siddhye Namaha. I have to make one confession here. There are a couple of words like Spig Rupam and then Chuli Rupam. I searched the internet quite a bit. Okay, I could not find the exact meanings of that particular word. Okay, I am still working on it. If I find it, I'll get back to you and because there's that it forms a part of the nyasam. Okay, you will need to get the which part of the body it is. I'll just try to get it as fast as possible. I won't say I'll get it tomorrow. Last time I said that, and I did. It took me till yesterday or early morning today for me to send that song that I said I would send. I don't know if it is already published, but I sent that song today, this morning, the Telugu one. And apart from that, one more thing. I want to share with you guys the Shodasa Upachara Puja for Guru. Okay. Probably it's more than 10 years back. So we happened to compile a song on, it's a 16 stanza song. Okay. Each stanza referring to one Upachara. Shodasha Upachara, 16 Upacharas. Okay, this one I want to share that. In fact, I want to share that first, and then I wanted to share that song I just sent about the first avaranam. But that song is in Telugu. Only those who know Telugu will be able to, enjoy it a little better than the others. Okay. Now, iti tad antarvyapakam yasya padangushtadvayarupa kamatmane am brahmhe namaha. Now, up till now, the siddhis are over. Now, the middle square, there are 3 concentric squares, as I said. Till now, we referred to the outermost square, then the middle square. Okay. Padangushtadvaya rupa kamatmane am brahmhe namaha dakshapashva rupa krodhatmane im maheshwarye namaha. Dakshapashva means right side. Okay. Murdharupa lobhatmane kaumarye namaha vamapashva rupa rim vaishnavye namaha vamajanurupa. Janu means about the which is niece. Vamajanurupa lim Vadahyai namaha Dakshajanurupa Aim Mahendriyai namaha Daksha Bahiramsarupa. Once again, Bahiramsarupa Aum Chamundayi namaha Vama Bahiramsarupa Papatmane Aha Mahalakshmiyai namaha. Okay, chaturasya ancharekhayi namaha iti tadantarvyapakam yasya padangushtadvaya rupa adha sahasrara kamalatmane dram sarvasanchobhinyi namaha. Now this is the innermost square. So in the innermost square, it is mudras. Siddhi Matraka mudras. 10, 8, 10. Okay? If those you already know Telugu and if I got on the song, say Pittagodalanu Mutini Katti Siddhi Matraka Mudralanu Balakara Munchi Mullokalanu Mohamuka Pedu Padamulan. That's how it goes. So the third one is mudras. So Dakshapa Swarupa Muladharatmane Dream Sarva Vidra Vinyena Mudrayi Namaha Murdharupa. See here, remember one thing. When it comes to Mahayagakramam, I wouldn't know why exactly this order is chosen, but the position is shift drastically from the bottom of the foot to the top of the head and so on and so forth. Okay, see here. Darshapashwarupa Muladharatmane Dream Sarva Vidra Vinye Namaha Murdharupa Swadhishtanatmane Klim Sarvakarshinyai Namaha Vamapashwarupa Manipuratmane Bloom Vamapashwam. So I think you guys should be better. Amma, just show my blooming face rather than, because you can read through the text, you can have the text in front of you, but you may need to see where I touch. That will help you guys. Okay, Dakshapashwarupa, right side. Mooladharatmane Dream Sarvavidravinnyi Namaha Murdharupa Swadhishtanatmane Klim Sarvakarshinnye Namaha Vamapashwarupa Manipuratmane Bloom Sarvashankarye Namaha Vamajanurupa Saha Sarvonmadani Mudrayi Namaha Dakshajanurupa Vishuddhatmane Krom Sarvamahankushayi Namaha Daksha Vururupa Thai Dakshavururupa, right thigh. Indrayonyatmane Hasaka frame Sarvakeshari Mudrayi Namaha Vama Ururupa Ajnatmane Hasauh Sarvabija Mudrayi Namaha Dvadashantarupa Urdhva Sahasradakal Kamalatmane Aim Sarvayonyai Namaha Padangushthadvayarupa Adharanamagatmane Hasraim Haskalarim Hasrazauh Sarvatrakhanda Mudrayi Namaha Pada Angushthadvayarupa, both big toes of the feet. Hridrupa Trailokya Mohana Chakreshwarye Tripuraye Namaha Iti Tatasthanani Samsprushya. That means this way, touching all the respective parts of the body. That's what it means. Okay, just chanting it in English. Eta sarvaha swatma bhinnattvena vibhavya atmanaha aparichinnatvam vibhavayed prakatayo nirupa swatmatmane animasiddhye namaha aparichinna rupa swatmatmane dram sarvasanchobhini mudraye namaha. It is something like towards the end of the we'll change abhishadiddhime de sharanagravvatsale bhaktya samarpaye tubhyam XYG varnarchanam, and then that particular mudra you will show the same thing here. Okay, in slightly different connotation, that's all. Next, after that, it is prayoga purvakam vibhavayet. Next avaranam. Aim Klim Sauh Sarvasha Paripuraka Chakraya Shodashala Padmaya Namaha Iti Radantarvyapakam Yasya. Now we are getting into the Aim Klim Sauh, the second avaranam. Now, by the way, it has been a monologue all along, so I can give a 5-minute break, not for you guys to go away, but you can ask them anything if you want to ask up till this point. Then we can go into the next session. Anything to ask? Any questions there, Amma, by any chance?
I don't see anything in the chat, yeah.
Okay, okay, fine.
Namaste, Guru Garu. Namaste, this is Bharadwaja from California. Let me use the, English language because so that others can also understand.
Okay, please. Please.
Thank you, first of all. This is really interesting. As you said, I'm not initiated, but I'm a great devotee of Rochester Amma. So I just wanted to bring one question, probably maybe it's a layman question. Some of these are all Khadgamalas, what do you call that, wording, right, for these, and they are implicated to some of these body parts. Is the proper way of putting, or is there a correlation there? Khadgamala Stot, any relation is there?
Actually, the thing is, Sri Chakram is nothing but a orchestrated conglomeration of Khadgamala deities. Okay. You see, if you are chanting Khadgamala on a regular basis, even to chant Khadgamala, we encourage that you have an initiation into Sri Vidya. Okay, so when you are chanting Khadgamala, it means you are doing Sri Chakra Puja in a very small way. If you are initiated into Sri Vidya and if you have just performed the Dasha Mudras, you are doing Sri Chakra Puja in a very small way. Basically, what exactly is Sri Chakra Puja? Putting it in a, a mundane, our technical way, it is basically structured continuous multitude, the unstructured continuous multitude, that is collapsing structure, and then further discontinuous multitude, discontinuity with diminishing multitude, finally culminating in singularity. That is what is called prakata gupta gupta tarasampradaya kulochena nigarbharahasya chirahasya paraparachirahasya yogani sthiti. See, these 9 stages, transcending through these 9 states of awareness, they are called mula prakritis. Realizing these states at every stage and going up to reach that point of singularity is called Sri Chakra Puja or Sri Chakra Upasana, Sri Yantra Upasana, all this. Again, for that, there are so many ways it is performed. One, you will chant Khadgamala. And in chanting Khadgamala also, there are variants. There are 15 different variants of chanting Khadgamala. Okay, you will chant it. And then there are some people who will do that one for 6 months. Okay, there is one way of chanting on each, as I said, 15 variants. Each tithi, from starting from Padhyami to Amavasya, then Padhyami to Paurnimi. Okay, these 15 you will go in forward order, reverse order, forward order, reverse. For 6 months they will do. There's another way of it. Just Khadgamala. They do that. And Khadgamala, once again, as I said, you are basically in the Indian vernacular. What we do is we convert everything into divinity. Okay, you will start with, say, for example, you will take a first, you will sit on this one, asanam. Okay. What is that? Asana devadabhyo namaha yoga asanaya namaha vira asanaya namaha shara. So your asanam became deity. Then you say, Hey Ghante Susware Bite Ghanta Dhuni Bhushre Ghanta. The bell became a deity. Then Kalasya Mukhe Vishnu Ghante Rudrasamakshudha. You take the Kalasham water, that becomes a deity. Okay. Finally, at one point, what do you do? I myself am deity. That is Tattva. That's the technique. Basically, it's a technique. And this technique, there are so many variations. And the variations are they are so varied, people will start fighting. My technique is better than your technique. No, every technique, it's a technique in itself, it's a path in itself. Okay? So, Khadgamala is same thing. Khadgamala, what you do, every state that you realize is assigned to a particular divine signature. You call it a deity, call it a particular yogini. Prakata yogini, guptatara sampradaya, kulochena, nigarpa, kama, karshini, nitya, karshini, all that. Each yogini is essentially a realization, an experience. So as you go on through the Sri Yantram, that experience solidifies, sensitizes, subtle and subtle, subtle. Finally, the most subtle place, the Bindusthanam, where you will realize the universal singularity. And the singularity becomes you. Okay? That's how it is. Yeah, you are asking something.
Thank you.
Welcome. 1 second. I'll pass it on to you. Open that up, open the box, take that mic out, and then speak into it.
The previous section.
I don't know whether it is working. So try.
Okay. In the previous section, when you were mapping the letters to the body parts, you're also kind of mentioning the chakras.
No, that does not. No. The body parts. I'm not referring to any particular chakra per se. No.
Okay, because I was hearing Swadhisthana, Vishuddhi, and all those things.
There, but it's not about the chakra.
Oh, okay.
Vishuddhi, because Vishuddhi, that's a place where
the visual becomes Shuddhi. Okay.
Throat. Swadhisthana is a genital area.
Swadhisthana and
Swadhisthana is genital area.
Okay. But you touched here.
And Murdhisthana, not Swadhisthana. Murdhisthana.
Oh, okay.
Murdhneyasthanam, some people say.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now we will go to the second avaranam. Aim Klim Sauh Sarvasha Paripuraka Chakraya Shodashadala Padmaya Namaha Iti Tadantar Vyapakam Yasya Dakshashrotra Rupa Dakshashrotra Prushtarupa Prithivyatmane Am Kamakashinye Namaha Daksham Sarupa Abatmane Am Buddhyakarshinye Namaha Darsha Kurpararupa Im Ahankarakashini Nityaye Namaha Daksha all Dakshakara Prushtarupa दक्षकर पृष्ठरूप वायुव्यात्मने ईं शब्दाकर्षिण्यै नमः दक्ष गुरुरूप स्पर्शाकर्षिण्यै नमः दक्ष जानुरूप श्रोत्रात्मने रूपाकर्षिण्यै नमः दक्ष गुल्भरूप त्वगात्मने रसाकर्षिण्यै नमः दक्ष पादतलरूप चक्षुरात्मने गंधाकर्षिण्यै नमः वाम वाम पादतलरूप जिह्वात्मने पादतल means actually bottom. Okay, वाम पादतलरूप जिह्वात्मने चित्ताकर्षिण्यै नमः वाम गुल्भरूप दैव्याकर्षिण्यै नमः वाम जानुरूप वागात्मने एं स्मृत्याकर्षिण्यै नमः वाम गुरुरूप प्राणापाण्यात्मने ऐं नामाकर्षिण्यै नमः वाम करपृष्ठरूप पादात्मने ॐ बीजाकर्षिण्यै नमः ॐ वाम कूर्पररूप पायात्मने ॐ आत्माकर्षिण्यै नमः वामांसरूप उपस्थात्मने this is called scapula, left scapula. Vamamsaru amsa means scapula. Vama amsarupa upasthatmane amrudakarshinyai namah vama shrotra pushtarupa विकृतमनात्मने aha शरीराकर्षिण्यै नमः हृद्रूप स्पर्शा सर्वाचा परिपूरक चक्रेश्वर्यै त्रिपुरेश्यै नमः गुप्तयोगिनी रूप स्वात्मात्मने लं लघिमा सिद्ध्यै नमः अपरिच्छिन्न रूप स्वात्मात्मने द्रीं सर्वविद्राविण्यै नमः. This is the second avaranam. Okay, now the third avaranam. What is third avaranam? Second avaranam is 16 petals. Third avaranam is the 8 petals. Okay, this is where the Prithvi Tattvam comes in. In the Sri Yantram, the 8 petals that forms the Mooladhara Chakram. Okay, Prithvi Tattvam, the solid principle sits there, the densest physical manifestation. Okay. Hrim Klim Sauh Sarvaso Sanchobana Chakraya. Hrim Klim Sauh Sarvasanchobana Chakraya Ashtadalapadmaya Namaha Tadantarvyapakam Yasya Daksha Shankarupa Vajanatmane Kankhangangangam Ananga Kusuma Devi Namaha Daksha Jatrurupa Adanatmane Chanchanjanjanyam Anangamekhala Devi Namaha. Here, please note, right from before the second avaranam on, even the first avaranam also, we speak a lot about akshamalas, im, im, the second avaranam. And now, kankhangangangam, chanchanjanjanjam, chanchanjanjanjam, anangamekhala devi namaha, dakshorurupa, gamanatmane, tantandandannam, anangamadana devi namaha, daksha gulbharupa, visargatmane, tantandandannam, anangamadanatura devi namaha, vamagulbharupa, anandatmane, pam pam bam bam bam, anangarekha devi namaha, vamorurupa, Hanakhya Buddhyatmane Yamram Lamvam Anangavegin Namaha Vama Jatrurupa. The Jatru, once again, I am not exactly sure which part of the body it is. Jatrurupa Upadanakhya Buddhyatmane Shamsham Samham Ananga Kusuma Anangankusha Devi Namaha Vama Shankarupa Upechakya Buddhyatmane Lamcham Anangamalini Devi Namaha Hrudrupa Sarvasanchobana Chakreshwariyai Tripurasundariyai Namaha Guptadara Yogini Rupa Swatmatmane Mam Mahima Siddhyai Namaha Aparichinna Rupa Swatmatmane Klim Sarvakarshini Mudrayai Namaha. So this what is that? Swatmatmane and then Aparichinna Rupa. These two phrases they keep repeating for every avaranam. So what they are doing for every avaranam, they are mapping one particular part. It could be anywhere. So what our the concept, even me, the concept I had was first avaranam is Devi's feet, second avaranam Devi's thighs, third avaranam Devi's seat, the buttock parts. Okay, fourth avaranam the genital part, fifth avaranam the navel or the stomach part, sixth avaranam is the heart, seventh avaranam the throat, eighth avaranam the bhrumadhyam, that is the third eye, ninth avaranam is the sahasrara. That's how we were thinking. Actually, I too was thinking that way. But when it comes to Mahayaga Kramam, okay, different parts of the body all over, for each avaranam you will be touching. But then that is the way this Mahayaga Kramam is performed. So what happens is so this is another challenge. When you are thinking of one avaranam, you will be going through that particular set of body parts. Next avaranam, you will probably going through the same set of body parts, as at least overlap. But you should be thinking of the next awareness, next avaranam. That's a challenge. And that is sadhana.
Each element is kind of derived from the previous element. Say, for example, Akasha Tattva, even the Vayu has a little bit of Akasha Tattva.
Maybe. These are the things, okay, the question here is that does it mean to say one tattva phases into another tattva? That's what you are asking, right? That's one way of looking at it. Okay, when it comes to Sri Vidya Upasana, okay, once you are into it, okay, quite a lot of times the experience and the connotation that you use becomes unique to yourself. Okay, if that really provides you a vent through which you can just go into the next stage, use it. But only thing is, don't rub that on somebody else's throat. Okay.
Yeah, there is one question in the chat.
Please.
Shashi Sundareshanji asked this. Is it necessary to touch the part and chant, body part and chant? Can we use this for Archana to Devi with flowers or kumkum?
You can use it. There's nothing wrong. But the thing is, that actually, the idea here is Mahayaga Kram. You are performing on your own body for the most part. Okay. So if you are performing to the Devi, while yes, it can be done, but in a way, of course, this is my perspective. In a way, you are actually defeating the objective. The objective is releasing everything in oneself. You can do it probably until, okay, here is what I would suggest, okay, until you get the complete mantra parachayam. So much so, you should have to commit this to memory, and so much so, you have to realize which part of the body belongs to what. Until you get that, get a complete picture of that, keep performing it on Devi. Then after that, perform on yourself. No big deal. Okay? Next, Haim, Haklim, Hasauhu, Sarva Saubhagyadayaka Chakraya, Chaturdasha Chakraya Namaha, Tadantar Vyapakam Yasya, Lalata Madhya Bhaga Rupa, Alambusatmane Tam. Haim, Haklim, Hasauhu. Yes. Here is where, even before I start, I will point out to the conflict or the variation we see with respect to what is prescribed, subscribed, or inscribed in Ayya's book. In Ayya's book, what happens is, first avaranam, potpourri of vowels and consonants. Ammanimasidi, lamlagmasidi, mammahamasidi, mishitadi, vamvashitadi, pram, prakam, yasiddhi, all kinds of combination, potpourri. The second avaranam is Vowels. Im, rum, lim, lim. Third avarnam, only consonants. Kankang, gang, gangam, and in bunches. Kankang, gang, gangam, chan, chan, jan, janyam, tan, tan, dan, dandam, tan, tan, dan, dhannam, pam, pam, bam, bam, bam. Yam, ram, lam, vam, sham, sham, sam, ham, lam, cham. Like the third avarnam. Fourth avarnam, haim, haklim, haso. It starts with kankang, gang, gangam. In a way, what I found is this relates or correlates to the Matrukanyasam that we perform in Chandi Upasana. Chandi Upasana, we do the same thing. Vowels, consonants, and then consonants, and then vowels and consonants. In the same order, Ayya's book also describes. Whereas here in Mahayakram, at least prescribed by Bhaskara Raya, when it comes to fourth avarnam, instead of starting from Ka, in Ayya's book, Kankangam, Gangam, Chanchan, Jan, Janyam, Tan, Tam, Dam, Dham, it stops there. 14 triangles, 14 this. But here, it starts with Ta, Tan, Tan, Dan, Dan, Dam, Tan, Tan, Dan, Dan, Dam, Pam, Pam, Bam, Bam, Ta to Bha. That's how it is mapped. If you are into Sri Vidya, you will be able to correlate it much more easily than otherwise. For you guys, it is for your information, FYI. Okay? So here, Lalata Madhyabhaga Rupa Alambhujatmane, here what happens, the 14 triangles, in one connotation, as I said, you're asking, somebody was asking, is it, should we do it outside or inside, or which part should we touch the parts of the body and so on. Say here, in one description, in one narration, the 14 triangles are referred to the 14 worlds. Okay, and yet here, this is referred to, the 14 are referred to something else. So, is 14 worlds correct, or is this one is correct? Both are correct. It is something like, to measure a distance, you can use FPS system or CGS system or an MKS system. And each of those systems, they do not correlate to each other exactly, because 1 foot and 1 meter, you can't get it, because there is always a fractional value there. But each system is correct. That way, if you want to connote 14 worlds to the 14 triangles in the fourth avarna, so be it. But if you want to correlate something else, so be it. Okay, but only follow one. You cannot follow FPS system and then use an MKA system. It doesn't work. Okay, so here, once again, Lata Madhyabhaga Rupa Alambhujatmane, here the 14 are referred to 14 nadis. Okay, there Alambhujatmane, Kuhvatmane, Vishwodaratmane, Varunyatmane, Hastijikvatmane, Yashovatyatmane, Payasvanyatmane, Gandharyatmane, Pushatmane, Shankhinyatmane, Sarva Saraswatyatmane, Idatmane, Pingalatmane, Sushumnatmane. Then Hrudrupa Saubhagyadayaka Chakreshwarye Tripurya Vasinyai Namaha Sampradaya Yogini Rupa Svatmatmane Im Ishatsudhye Namaha Aparichanna Rupa Svatmatmane Bloom Sarvavashankari Mudraye Namaha. I'm intentionally skipping the first part, Dakshapashtarupa, Vamapashtarupa. Those things, those terminologies we have already heard. The same thing is being repeated here. Probably a couple more added, a couple more subtracted. And probably there will be a jumbling up of the order, maybe, but still, for the most part, is all there. Okay? Probably we will have to have an initiative, okay, to write all this in an even more detailed fashion, translating it to English. That's a bigger exercise. I don't know if I can take it up now, but that's what we need to do as a collective exercise. Let us see when we can do it. Okay, so for the leftmost terms that they have used, we'll have to have an English equivalent word for that, so that you'll be able to map it to your body much more easily. Okay. Bloom Sarvakrishankari Mudra in mouth, then it is Hasaim, Haskleem, Hasau. That is navel, Agni Tattvam. Okay? Hasaim, Haskleem, Hasau, Sarvatha Sadhaka Chakraya, Bahiddashar Chakraya Namaha, Iti Tadantar Vyapakam Nyasya. Dakshakshirupa Pranatmane Kam. So here you go into now Kankangangangam Chanchanjanjanyam. These 10 consonants he uses for the 5th avaranam. Whereas in the case of Aya's book, this is used in the 4th avaranam itself. Okay? So this is where the variation takes shape. Okay? From each avaranam, you get a different set of consonants. दक्षाश्रूप प्राणात्मनेकं कर्व सर्वसिद्धिप्रदा देव्यै नमः नासामूलरूप अपानात्मने खं सर्वसम्पत्प्रदा देव्यै नमः वामनेत्ररूप व्यानात्मने गं सर्वप्रियङ्करी देव्यै नमः सर्व कुक्षिशकोणरूप उदानात्मने घं सर्वमङ्गलकारिण्यै नमः. They are all vayus. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana, Naga, Kurma, Krikara, Devadatta, Dhananjaya. These 10 vayus. When you do the Naivedyam, Prana is Swaha, Apana is Swaha, Vyana is Swaha, Udana is Swaha, Samana is Swaha, Prana. That prana, that is the vayu that is responsible for the life of the body. Apana, that is the one that is responsible for the excretory function of the body. Vyana, that is the vayu that is responsible for the digestive activity in the body. Udana, that is the vayu that is responsible for the reproductive activity of the body. Samana, that is the vayu that is responsible for equitable distribution of these energies to all parts of the body. Because you digest, okay, and then you have got a 3 feet long nose and 2 inches long hand. Doesn't work. So you have to have an equitably distributed energy. Nose should only receive this much, hand should receive this much, brain should receive this much. So that particular judiciousness is controlled by Samana Vayu. And then after that there are 5 internal, Naga, Kurma, Krakara, Devadatta, Dhananjaya. So these 5 and 5, 10, these 10 would form the this one, that is the 5th avaranam. Okay, that is Nasa Mula Rupa Panatmane, Vamanetra Rupa Vyanatmane, Kuchija Kona Rupa Udanatmane, Kuchiva Yukona Rupa Samanatmane, Vamajanu Rupa Nagatmane, Gudarupa Kurmatmane, Dakshajan Rupa Krakaratmane, Kuchi Nirvatikona Rupa Niratikona Rupa, Devadatatmane, Kuchi, Vatnikona Rupa, for body, for the stomach, all the 8 directions and plus 2. So Kuchi, Vanhikona Rupa, Dhananjayatmane, Hridrupa Sarvata Sadhaka Chakreshwari Namaha. Chakreshwari Tripurashri Namaha. Kula Kaula Yogini Rupa. स्वात्मात्मनेवं वशित्वसिद्धियै नमः अपरच्छिन्न रूप स्वात्मात्मने सह सर्वोन्मादनी मुद्रायै नमः. So that would be the 5th avaranam. Okay, that is the fire principle. Then comes the Hrim Klim Blem Sarvarakshakara Chakraya Antardashara Chakraya Namaha Iti Tadantar Vyapakam Nyasya Dakshanasa Rupa Rechakagnatmane Mam Sarvagna Devyai Namaha Daksha Srukhirupa Pachakagnatmane Yam Sarvashakti Devyai Namaha Dakshastanarupa Shoshakagnatmane Ram Sarveishwarya Pradadevyai Namaha Daksha Vrushanarupa Dehagagnatmane Lam Sarva Jnanamayi Devyai Namaha Sivini Rupa Plavakagnatmane Vam Sarvavyadhinashinni Devyai Namaha Vama Vrushanarupa Ksharakagnatmane Sham सर्वाधारस्वरूपा देव्यै नमः वामस्तनरूप उद्गारकाज्ञात्मने शं सर्वपापहरा देव्यै नमः वाम सृक्किरूपा. I think सृक्किरूपा, it comes somewhere near the ear. शुक्तिरूपक्षोभकाज्ञात्मने सं सर्वानन्दमयी देव्यै नमः वाम नासरूप जृम्भकाज्ञात्मने हम सर्वरक्षाकररूपिण्यै सर्वरक्षास्वरूपिण्यै नमः नासाग्ररूप मोहकाज्ञात्मने क्षं सर्वेप्सुतफलप्रदा देव्यै नमः हृद्रूप सर्वरक्षाकरचक्रेश्वरी त्रिपुरमालिन्यै नमः निगर्भयोगिनी रूप स्वात्मात्मने प्रां प्राकाम्यसिद्धियै नमः अपरिच्छिन्न रूप स्वात्मात्मने क्रों सर्वमहाङ्कुशामुद्रायै नमः. That is the sixth avaranam. That is the Vayu principle. Okay, that is the air principle. Then after that comes Hrim Shrim Sau Sarvarakshakara Sarvaroghara Chakraya Namaha. This is the seventh avaranam. Now below the seventh avaranam is where the concept of sound prevails. Okay, this will be the last. After this, there is a formulation of the sound, but there is nothing there, it's all just silence. That's why it is Vyom Akasham. It is Akasham, it is Vyom, deep space. Deep space, there is no sound. It is only in the Akasham. You should have to have the air, right? For otherwise the sound doesn't propagate. So from here down, there is sound. Here up, it is silence. At least here, there is thought. When you come here, no thought. So what exists beyond thought? That is the Parachay, that's the Chaitanya. Just that Chaitanya. That, if you go further, it just disappears into a kind of antithetic state called nothingness, from which everything emanates. That's why it's called the infinite zero. So zero and infinity, they are opposites, but then that's the infinite zero, as it is termed as. Okay? Now, seventh avarnam, Ashtakonam. Here there are 8 triangles. Okay? Shrim Shrim Sau Sarvasogahara Chakraya Ashtakona Chakraya Namaha Iti Tadantar Vyapakam Yasya Chubuka Dakshabhagarupa Shitatmane Am Im Rum Lum Em Aim Om Aum Ha Blum Vashini Vagdevatayi Namaha Kanta Dakshabhagarupa Ushnatmane Kankangangam Klarim Kameshwari Vagdevatayi Namaha Hraye Dakshabhagarupa Sukhatmane Chanchanjanjam Vlim Modani Vagdevatayi Namaha Nabhi Dakshabhagarupa Dukhatmane Tantandandandam Jlum Vimala Vagdevatayi Namaha Nabhi Vamarupa Vamabhagarupa Ichatmane Tantandandandam Shimrim Aruna Vagdevatayi Namaha Hraya Vamabhagarupa Swatmagunatmane Pam Pam Bam 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 Svalayum Jaini Vagdevatayi Namaha Kantha Vamabhagarupa Rajogunatmane Yam Ram Lam Vam Jmriyum Sarveshwari Vagdevatayi Namaha Chibuka Vamarupa Vamabhagarupa Tamogunatmane Sham Sham Sam Ham Lam Cham Shmrim Kaulani Vagdevatayi Namaha Rudrupa Sarvaroghara Chakreshwari Tripura Siddhayi Namaha Rasyogani Rupa Swatmatmane Bhumbhukti Siddhyi Namaha Aparicchinna Rupa Swatmatmane Hasakafre Sarvakechari Mudrayi Namaha. Each time we chant a particular mudra, you can perform that mudra. Whoever is initiated, you can perform that mudra. Hridaya Trikona Adhobhagarupa Pancha Tanmatratmakebhyaha Jam Sarvajrumbhana Pushpabhanebhyo Namaha Tad Dakshana Konarupa. This is the 8th avaranam. 8th avaranam Hridaya Trikona Adhobhagarupa. Hridaya Trikona Adhobhagarupam. Okay, Panchatanmatra. Here we are getting the weapons that mother has. Okay, the Panchapushpam, that the Banam, Pasham, Ankusham, these four they are going to get. Okay, that's one. Hriday Trikona Adho Bhagarupa Panchatanmatrakebhya Jam Sarvajrumbana Pushpabani Namaha Tad Dakshana Kona Rupa. From here, Dakshina Kona. Dakshina Kona Rupa Mana Atmakabhyam Dam Dham Dam Dham Tham Sarvajagat Sammohana Ichudanubhyam Namaha Tad Urdhvabhaga Rupa Ragatmakabhyam Amrim Sarvavashankara Pashabhyam Namaha Tad Vamabhaga Rupa Dveshatmakabhyam Krom Sarvasambhakara Ankushabhyam Namaha. For these, instead of touching that particular body, because these ayudhams, they are just adjacent to the Sri Yantram and not inside the Sri Yantram, but still are a kind of semi-integral to the Sri Chakra or the Sri Yantram. So you can perform those particular mudras. Tad dakshana kona rupa mana atmakabhyam dam tham sarva jagat sammohana ichudanubhyam namaha. Tad urdhvabhaga rupa ragatmakabhyam amhrim sarvashankara pashabhyam namaha. Tad vamabhaga rupa tveshatmakabhyam krom sarvastambhagara ankushabhyam namaha. Hasraim haskalarim hasrasauh sarvasiddhi pradachakraya namaha. Chakraya Trikonaya Namaha iti vyapakam nasnyasya. So when you the eighth avarana, this is the what is that? Sarva Mahabijam. Bijamudra you will do it. Then after iti vyapakam nyasya hridaya trikona grabhaga, it is ninth avaranam. Okay, hridaya trikona grabhaga mahattatvatmane ka eilaharim. Oh, sorry. It is not ninth avaranam yet, it is eighth avaranam. We spoke about the ayudhams now. Hridayatrikona grabhaga rupa mahattatvatmane ka eilaharim mahakameshwari devyai namaha. Tad dakshina kona rupa ahankaratmane hasakahalaharim mahavajreshwari namaha. Tad vamakona rupa. This actually forms inside. Okay, the way it is described is, you can take the two eyes and consider this as the 3 points, or you can consider these two eyes, and then if you draw a line, okay, if you take this as a triangle through that particular center, if you draw a line from the middle of your brows, from between, you draw a line back, okay, it touches a particular part in the back of your head. You can take that. Usually what they say is, if you focus on that particular part, okay, you will be able to draw yourself into this upasana much more easily. Okay? Don't be influenced by this. First get into Sri Vidya, practice, and then okay, enjoy life. That's why one kid asked me, how do you get moksha? And he said, look, have a pizza and a can of Coke, you will get moksha in its due course. Enjoy life first. Okay? These things are all, it's there. So, that's how. So, Hasakahalarim Mahavajreshwariye Namaha Tad Vamakona Rupa. Basically, the triangle at that eighth avaranam, you have got 3 points, or 3 like this way. So the first one, Ka'eilaharim, Hasakahalaharim, Sakalahrim, 3 points. Okay? Tadvamakona Rupa Vyaktatmane Sakalahri Mahabhagamalinye Devyai Namaha Rudrupa Sarvasiddhi Prachakreshwariyai Tripurambayai Namaha Adirahasyayogi Rupa Swatmatmane Im Ichchasiddhyai Namaha Aparichinna Rupa Swatmatmane Hassauh Sarvabija Mudrayi Namaha Ka'eilaharim Sakahalaharim Sakalharim Sarvandamaya Chakraya Bindu Chakraya Namaha. That is the Bindu Sthanam. Okay? ninth avaranam. Itinyasya ka ila harim sakala harim ranmadya rupa nirupadhika samvinmatra rupa kameshwaranka nalayayi satchidanandaika brahmatmikayi paradevatayi lalitayi Shri Mahatripura Sundari Namaha Nirupadika Chaitanyameva Satchidanandatmakam Antahkarana Pratibimbam Sat Tadhameva Ityanusandhanam Lalitayah Lauhityamiti Vibhavya Abheda Sambandhena Satvachitvadi Vishishta Samvidaha Kevala Samvidvascha Tadatmya Sambandharupam Kameshwaranka Yantranam Visheshanam Vibhavya. This is where you have to imagine you have that. That's why if you start meditating, if you get into this one, there comes a point, okay, when the Kundalini rises and starts touching the Anahata Chakram, okay, you will start hearing a particular sound in your ears. The sound will be like that of hundreds of cicada, okay, with the crickets, hundreds of crickets making sound. You'll start hearing that sound. And it starts at and for some people, a long number of bells ringing. Some people, they will hear something like a pressure cooking hooting. Okay, at some other people, like a whoo. As it goes, it becomes more and more shrill. Here. That's a different. But then thing is, and you will visualize when you go to the ninth avaranam, you will visualize this particular and that sound is called Ichanam. So you will visualize that Ichanam rising up and merging into the Bindusthanam. Okay, that is the upasana of the ninth avaranam. Okay. Sattvajitvadi Vishrasamvidaha, and that this is what I like here is Nirupadika Samvinmatra Rupa Samvit. Samvit. What is Samvit? Samvit Shakti, Samvit Agni, Samvit. That is the energy that is beyond the Panchabhutas. Okay, the fire. That's why in Chandi Upasana in this, which is that Lalitopakhyanam. So when Bhandasura, those people, they become very powerful, the gods, they will lose their chaitanyam, they will lose their tejas, they will lose their energy, and then they'll go to Brahma, Vishnu will take them to Parashambhu, he opens the realms beyond the space. That's where he has to do what is that? Rahoya Vikrama Radyar Hastarpina Tarpe Rahoya Vikram. He has to perform the yagam there. For this, he cannot use the regular Agni because that guy is energyless. He has lost his energy, right? So Agni has lost his energy. So Shiva Parashambhu, he invokes the energy called Samvit Agni. So that's Samvit Agni here. And then he says Nirupadhika Samvinmatra. Samvit Chakri, what is Nirupadhika? What is Upadhi? Upadhi means anything that influences human life, human way of life is called Upadhi. Because this Upadhi, it can be anything. A nice song you hear. You are influenced. How great. Right? Fantastic food. Influence. I have $1 million per annum job. It influences me. So all these are called upadhis. The basic upadhis are the 5 external senses and 5 internal senses. Okay. When you remove these 5 external, the influence of these internal and external senses, there remains energy, the chaitanyam. That is called Nirupadhika Chaitanya. that one, it is going to merge with the Samvit Shakti, that Chaitanyam that is beyond the Panchabhutas. And that is what you have to visualize when you go to the ninth hour. And that is the nyasam you will perform. There is no touching anything. You just visualize the merger. So they are all great M&A specialists, mergers and acquisitions. Right? Okay, the share price is infinity, just goes through the roof. M&As. Okay, so that's how you merge. So anyway, so that's what is described here. Okay, Samvinmatra Rupa Kameshwarankanaya Satchidanandayika Brahmatmikaye Paradevataye Lalitaye Sri Mahatripura Sundari Namaha Nirupadika Chaitanyameva Satchidanandatmakam Antahkarana Pratibimbam Sat Maha Tadahameva इत्यनुसंधानं ललितायाः लौहित्यमिति विभाव्य अभेद संबंधेन सत्वचित्वादि विशिष्ट संविदः केवल संविदश्च तादात्म्य संबंध रूपं कामेश्वरांकयंत्रणं विशेषणं विभाव्य उपाद्य भाव रूप शुक्लत्वोपलक्षिता सती शुद्ध संविदेव शुक्लचरणः. Okay, say there should be raktacharanam and shuklacharanam. There they are saying upadya bhava rupa shuklatvoopalakshita sati shuddha samvideva shuklacharanah. That is the Shiva's, this one. He describes the Shiva's aspect. And then on the other side, Chitva Vishishta Samvid Prathamika Parahantatmaka Vritti Rupena Ragena Upalakshita Sati Rakta Charanaha. Okay, Deva Shukla Charanaha, Sati Rakta Charanaha. Okay. And some of the Sanskrit there is hazy for me, but I would say basically at that point you will basically imagine the Shukla Charanam, that is Shiva's foot and the mother's feet, Shukla Rakta. In fact, those two are your Guru's feet. You imagine the Guru's feet at that particular point in time. Rudruva Sarvandamaya Chakreshwarye Shri Maha no. अहमाकार वृत्ति निरूपिता विषयता चरणयोर्मिद्धो विशेष्य विषेण भावरूपैव तदुभय सामरस्यमिति विभाव्य शिवशक्ति सामरस्यम. That is basically at that point, at the point where you say Shiva, Shakti are one and the same. There is not, one is not above the other, they are one and the same. And that is probably that's what Guru Garu says, Paripurna Vishesharkyam. Paripurnamaina Amritam. That's why when you do the Panchopachara Puja, Lam Prithvi Tattvatmane Satsangam Gandham Kalpayami, Ham Akasha Tattvatmane Indriya Nigraham Pushpam Kalpayami, Yam Vayu Tattvatmane Arishadvarga Visarjanam Dhupamagrapayami, Ram Tejas Tattvatmane Chitkala Deepam Darshayami, Vam Amruta Tattvatmane Shiva Shakti Samarasyamrutam Nivedayami. What is that Amrutam? Shiva, the experience of the equality or the oneness of Shiva and Shakti. That is the Paripurna Vishesharkyam. So that experience is the Vishesharkyam. What is it? Adam Jol Yodarasmi Yodar Brahmasmi Oham. No. Right? When you do that, basically you are trying to endure the sensation or the experience of the equality or non-duality between Shiva and Shakti. And then you take it. So that's what you are supposed to do there. That is called the Paripurna Vishesharkyam. That's how you are going to do. Okay? Shudrupa Sarvandama Chakreshwarye Srimatra Parasundarye Namaha Paraparahasya Yogi Rupa Swatmatmane Pram Praptasiddhye Namaha Aparichinna Rupa Swatmatmane Aim Sarvayo Nimudraye Namaha Yoni Mudran Pradashya Idi Tattsthana Sparshapurvakam Samyak Anusandhaya Upacharan Samarpayed. Now, this statement, it is repeated in so many places. It gives an answer to that question. Can we do it to Devi, or should we touch our parts of the body? It says, Tattat sthana sparsha purvakam. Respective parts of the body, touch it. The basically, Mahayaga Kramam is Nyasam, something like Mahanyasam. This one, Mahayaga Kramam, is Nyasam. You're supposed to do it on your body, but until you get the complete command, that's called mantra parichayam, next artha parichayam, next bhava parichayam, then drishya parichayam or drishti parichayam. Until then, you keep doing it. When you get this thing, then you know correlate to which part of the body for what, you just start doing it. At that time, when you are driving your car, assuming you don't make an accident, you can start doing this one, your own body. Simple. Okay? That's why Guru Garu does the Sri Chakra puja. He does it I have seen, I have a clip with me. It takes less than about 20 seconds, even less. Puja is over. When Ayya did that entire comprehensive Sri Chakra puja here, according to his book, verbatim, he took 23 hours to do it. Just physical. That's what he says is, when you hold your breath, okay, kumbhakam, you do this one, and the kundalini rises along your spine, that kundalini energy performs the Sri Chakra puja. And that's what happens when the Kundalini performs Sri Chakra puja, means it goes all the way up there, where you realize the the equality or the non-duality between Shiva and Shakti, and that is Paripurna Vishesharkyam. He says that this is Paripurna Vishesharkyam. And at that moment, for that particular fraction of a moment, instance, you will lose awareness of your body. That's what he proposed. Okay? Vedadi Stula Prapancha Padagata Namarupatmakamalasya Satchidanandaika Rupatva Bhavanajalena Chalanam Padyam Vibhavayami. This Pancha Padyam, when you just show at this point, normally what you do is, towards the end of the Sri Chakra puja, you will perform Shodshopchara puja for. And how do you do it in the case of Mahayaga Kram? What do you say? Vedadi Sthula Prapancha Rupa Padagata Nama Rupatmaka Malasya. See, the external, your feeling of this duality, the external, okay, all that is a malinyam. Okay, and I'm washing off that malinyam. That is the Padayoha Padyam Samarpayami. Okay, that's called. Padyam Vibhavayami. Okay. Now, before that, evam aparichinnataya bhavitaya lalitaya sve mahimnyeva pratisthadam asanam anusandhanami asanam. Then it is padyam. Then after that, sushma prapancha rupa hastagadasya tasya namarupatmakamalasya. Now, external padyam is fine. But even internally, you are still latched on to duality, the multitude. I am not that. There are something so much. So even that is a malanam. Okay, that you wash off. That is the argyam. Okay, argyam chintayami bhavana rupanam apamapi kabalikara rupam achamanam vibhavayami achamanam bhavana rupanam apamapi. So you just think of the what is bhava, the thoughts that you get. Okay, that one you just take that achamanam. Okay, then that's why it is called tattva achamanam. Okay, vibhavayami satvajitva anandatvadi akhilavayava avachedena bhavanajala samparkarupam snanam anuchintayami. Now your interaction with your thoughts. Okay, that is the snanam. So basically what you are doing is, this is a kind of antaryagam. As you keep going in further and further and further, you will start shedding one after that, like you peel off the onions, one peel after that, one peel after that. Finally, you just have the small bud, even that will just shed. Okay, that's what he is doing. 16, this one. Okay. Tashveva, teshveva, avayaveshu, prasaktaya, bhavanatmaka, vritti, visheshyataya, pronchanam, vritya, vishayatva, bhavanena, vastram kalpayami, nirvishayatva, niranjanatva, ashokatva, amrutattvadi, aneka, dharma rupani, abharanani, nirvishayatva. You are not interested in any of these vishayas. It is aspect means, what do you call? Avan Sairan, Ivan Sairan, what is he doing? What am I doing? When am I getting from it? As they say in Hindi, Maharashtra, right? There is, I have heard of this one. कविता लिखते हैं ना, मैं फरवरी में मरूंगा ताकि जनवरी में इंक्रीमेंट मिलेगा. So all that, you shed it. That is, and when you remove that, that is the abharanam. That means I don't want that. I am not there. I am not there. This thing. So you are now shining with the purity of having no attachment. That is the abharanam. Okay. Pranchanam vishayatva vastram nirvishayatva. That is abharanam. Next. Swasharira ghataka pattiva bhaganam jadatapanayena chinmatratavashesha bhavanarupanam gandham kalpayami. Swasharira ghataka pattiva bhaganam. So this, the part called this body, it has the parthiva there. Parthiva means something that falls apart, something that is very ephemeral. Okay, that ephemeral part of this body, okay, that one, jadatapayena, jadatapanayena, chinmatratavashesha bhavan. So you shed that. That is gandham. Okay, then swasharira ghataka akasha bhaga nam. Now here, this is the real panchopacharam. See, swasharira patya bhaga nam prithvi tattvam. Okay. Gandham kalpayami swasira ghataka akasha bhaganam jadapayena jadapanayena chinmatratavashesha bhavana rupani pushpani kalpayami akash tattvam. Okay, what's going on? Excuse me here. Hello, can you please? Thank you. Swasharira ghataka vavya bhaganam jadapanayena chinmatratavashesha bhavana rupam dhupam agrapayami yam vayu tattvatmane arishadvarga visarjanam dhupam agrapayami. Same thing. Swasharira ghataka tayyasa bhaganam means fire principle. Tejas Agni. Tayyasa bhaganam Ayyasabhaganam jadatapanayena chinmatratavashesha bhavana rupam deepam uddipayami. Swasharira ghataka amrita bhaganam. Okay. Jadatapanayena chinmatratavashesha bhavana rupam naivedyam nivedayami. Amrita bhagam. This is amrita bhagam. That's amrita bhagam is Shiva Shakti Samarasyamtam Nivedayami. Then after that, Parapashyantyadi Shodashante Indumandalasya Jratapanaena Chinmatradavashesha Bhavana Rupam Tambulam Kalpayami. Basically, you are imagining various, this is where the chakras come, those principles. So, in that particular principle, that particular upacharam, you are offering as a part of the Shodasha Upachara puja for mother towards the end of, to the end of, no, towards the end of what is this? Mahayagakramam. Mahayagakram, that's it. Mahayagakram is one particular type of nyasa. So during the Mahayagakramam, you are going to offer, okay, various upacharas, shedding various types of attachments, various types of concepts that you are, what you call, entangled with. Okay, one by one, you will take it out. That is how you are just constructing the entire Shodashopachara Puja. And it is extremely internal, for the lack of better phraseology. It's very, very internal to you. So the more internalized you will make it, the more enjoyable it will be for you. In fact, after all this is done, you will not feel like chatting. You will want to sit quietly for some time, ruminating on the serenity that you have accumulated. Okay? Parapashyantyadi Nikala Shabdanam Nadadvara Brahmani Upasamhara Chintanena Stavimi Vishayashu Dhavamananam Chittavrittiram Vishaya Jadata Nirasanena Brahmani Pravilapanena Pradakshini Karomi. This particular thing, Sanskrit syntax, I am not 100% familiar. I do not want to explain this. I'll find out and try to send some information about it in some time to me. I'll have to ask Ayya how exactly because this is more about, more than explanation, physical explanation, Ayya. It is a narration of one's experience. How Ayya experiences it. That will have to. Okay, it is not just, okay, yeah, I did this thing, A equal to B equal to C, so A equal to C. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Vihita avihita vishayah ruttaya utpannaha aham tvam guru devatetyadayah taha sarvaha chakrajastha ananta shakti kadamba rupaha tat sushma rupaha ye samparka samskaraha tat sarvam chinmatrameveti vibhavanaya nirvyuttanam svatmani juhomi. So anyway, I don't want to say anything about it. You just chant. Just chant. You will, that's what is called Manolaya Nirajanam. So basically there, same thing. Abdram Dulati Jyotirhamasmi Jyotirjvalati Brahmahamasmi Yo Ahamasmi Brahmahamasmi Hamasmi Brahmahamasmi Ahameva Hammam Juhomi Swaha. So you, that whatever little ego that is there, that lets you discriminate yourself from mother. That means I am not that. Whatever that is there that says that I am not that, even that you burn it out. That is the final, what is the Nirajana. Swatman juhomi prakrita bhavanasu ye gurucharanadi shakti kadambantaha Vishaya te sarvepi chinmatra rupa na parasparam bhidyante iti bhavanaya tarpayami. So you just Guru Tarpanam. You just think of Guru's feet and use it Tarpanam, and that's about it. Okay. Tiji Chakra Mukta Rupam Kala Chakram Deshak Chakrancha Sarvamasti Bhati Priyam Chanatu Nam Rupavate Atah Sarvam Brahmaiveti Vibhavayami Ata Nityadevata Bhavanam Shvasa Pravilapa Naphalika Swasa Pravilapa Naphalikam Kuryad Chatvarimshad. This one I have to ask Ayya Didhi. They have used some very, very interesting phrases, why they have used it, what they mean by it is something Ayya will have to explain. I'll have to ask them. Here, one conspicuous difference we see here is, in the case of regular Sri Chakra Puja, we will do the Nitya Devi Yajanam, then Guru Mandalachana, then Nava Varna Yajanam. But here, Nitya Devi Yajanam is done at the end. Okay, if you look at some of the representation even there, Sri Yantram at the top, that is around the 9th Avaranam, you will see the Nityakala Devis. So there is a practice that we will do the Nitya Devi Yajanam at that point, not at the point. Because the concept there is you will have to take the permission from Nityakala Devis to enter the Sri Yantram. But here you will visualize them or you will experience them at the end. So for that Nityakala Devis, there are all the 15 Nityas, Vanhirup, Vanhivasani, same thing. Swasatmane, Shataswasatmane, he says Chaturdasha Shataswasatmane. Why exactly he does the Chaturdasha Shatam? That is, Chaturdasha means 14. 1400 Shwasas. What is that 1400 Shwasas? I'll have to check with Ayya and I'll have to get a clarification on that. But otherwise, it's basically the same thing with each Nitya, and then towards he says Shvasotra Chaturvimshat Adhika Chaturdasha Shvatashvasatmane. It repeats for each this one, and then he just prays the oblation to particular Nitya Devata. After Nitya Devatas are done, Jwalamalini, Tena Manahpavanatmanam Aikya Nibhalanena Trinmuhurtan Dvedvavekam Va Muhurtamavichinnam Vyapayet Tasya Devatatmyeka Siddhi Shinchita Karyani Ayatnyen Siddhyanti. Okay. Whatever you wish, this is all Phalashruti kind of, whatever I have thought, even without my effort, and it happened. Probably, not probably, it will happen when you get there, it will just happen. Which is that, I don't remember the movie. Who is that guy? The black guy, I don't remember. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, he'll be on the other side of the road. This guy, he'll just keep, full traffic, he'll just keep walking. Not a car hits him, he just walks through. Okay, he's the kind of there in his own capacity. He's a kind of Siddha Purusha in that one. He just looks. So when your ego disappears, the world disappears for you. There's no obstruction. You'll just walk. That's it. There's nothing else that comes in the way. That's what it means. Ayatyena siddhyanti. Tato vatiriyam pranayamatrayam rushyadinyasatprayam chakrutva gurum stuviteti sarvam shivam. At that point in time, you will say rushyadinyasam that we did in the beginning. They say repeat it 3 times and then do your Guru Paduka Japam. Pay your respects to your Guru. Then Atharva Shirashi Prokta Vibhananam Satam Mude Iti Bhaskara Yena Prayoga Vidhiriritaha. Basically, he just Sri Umashandanatham Satyam Vadaitam Gurum Sutmadmakarnika Madhye Vibhavayet Sarvasiddhaye Sri Prakashandanatham Vimshambhayutam Gurum Sutmadmakarnika Madhye Vibhavayet Sarvasiddhaye Sri Ramandanatham Ramamba Saitam Gurum Sutmadmakarnika Madhye Vibhavayet Sarvasiddhime Sampurnam Prajnanam Brahmayamatma Brahmadattvamasyi Aham Brahmasmi Hamsa Shivasoham Hamsa Zakafrema Sakshamalavarayum Soham Sakshamalavarayim Sahoham Swarupa Nirupana Hetave Swagurave Shri Madhyanam Vigasameta Sri Chaitanyanandanatha Shri Guru Shri Padukam Pujayami Tarpayami Namaha. It's a very blissful session for me. Sure, you'll have enjoyed it in your own this one. Thank you so much. So any questions? Any questions, Amma, online? Sorry, sometimes or probably significant amount of time looking this way, not this way.
No, yeah, there is nothing in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I have a question. So you mentioned for Khadgamala Stotram and for Sri Chakra Puja, you have to get Diksha. So for someone who has just Bala Diksha and this is all, new.
What Diksha?
Just Bala.
Bala Diksha. You have got Bala. Okay.
Yes. So what do you recommend for me to, get into this? Should I do Khadgamala or?
No, read Khadgamala. Do the
Read, okay.
Khadgamala, but anything beyond that, you may want to get into Panchadashi.
Panchadashi.
So the question was, he has Bala initiation and he is asking how far can he go in this particular direction. So the recommendation is let him do his Bala and Khadgamala, but going beyond, it is advisable for him to do some sadhana on Panchadashi. Okay? Okay, what's the time now? Oh, it's already past 6. Okay. Anything else? If there is nothing else, it's already, I think we are over. And so if there is nothing else, shall we call it a day? There's a long silence.
Thanks, Ayya.
Pardon? Oh, most welcome, Ayya. So thank you once again
I
for
have
all
one
of you.
question.
Uh-huh.
Can you give the names in English, Ayya, or that Sanskrit body part? Because
Yeah, Amma, that's a small project in itself. Okay, I'm a bit of a lazy bones here. I'll have to do it. Let me see how soon I can do it, and I can get back.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you,
Yes.
Ayya. Thank you.
Yeah. Without that, it's
Certain things we
difficult
know,
to
but
visualize.
most. Thank you, Ayya.
Yeah, most welcome. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, if there's nothing else, once again, thank you very much for each and every one of you for giving me the opportunity to share whatever little I knew. It's basically Guru that spoke, okay, Guru that heard. And what is heard is also Guru. Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avasishyate. Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. So we can take leave. If you have any further questions, please post it. And by the way, I had sent that Telugu song. I don't know how many of you received it yet, or I don't know if it is posted there on the classroom or not. And is there any pending questions on classroom? I don't think so.
I didn't see any, Ayya. If there is any, I'll forward it to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, then we'll call it a day. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Have a nice evening. Bye.